representation. However, in Israel, you have to go to the army for 3 years men, 2 years women, never mind, and religious women have the opportunity to go and do civil service like in Germany, when you can replace your army duties with civil service duties. So they have 8 of these ladies working there. These are the guides. So, and this is financed by the government. So they are not a governmental institution, but this was approved. This is something you can do as your civil service work.
Katarzyna?
Thank you very much for great presentation. It's moving. I don't know whether you will find it inspiring what I'm going to say, but it is trying to sum up what Ruta said in philosophical terms. I would like to say it in more sociological. The name of Mircea Eliade was mentioned here, and my impression is that your perspective, although very well elaborated, misses probably one element, that is the area beyond time and space. And I am, well, time at least. And I am afraid that those two parts of conflict, I am not an expert in the issue, so just take it as a sort of comment or idea. But it seems to me that both parties involved just move the story toward the area where time does not really matter. It is not the future. If God gives you your temple, it is not the future, it is not past, it's, you know, if you have any of Jewish tradition, you know it is beyond any time. And those guys from this Temple Institute, looks like, well, they have vessels, they have all those, you know, ceremonial this stuff, but after all, as far as you presented it, there is no political or any sort of perspective or real chance to fulfill the idea that they will have the temple over there in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. So in fact they are doing the same operation, moving a thing as an utopia in some sort of perspective that is not the future, that is not past or whatever, just to be ready. It's sort of eschatological, to be ready. But if they are serious about their idea to rebuild the temple, then space doesn't matter. They would find the place in Jerusalem or wherever to build what they need. So that's my suspicion or feeling that probably this moment of beyond time would be helpful for your interpretation or discussion.
Yes.
Again, very, very short question. So you said there is consent about what is going to happen with the actual temple within this Temple Institute, right?
There is a consent?
Well, consent, I mean, so the temple, which is not the temple, but the Muslim landmark, which is currently there, they think in the Temple Institute is going to be destroyed, right?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, okay, but did they actually discuss it? Like how it is going to happen, and then how serious are they about it?
Yeah, this is usually the first thing you want to ask them.
Right.
But of course, they do not encourage any private tours. They will not encourage anyone, young children or any other visitors, to actually do something about it. When I ask them about it, and this is a quote, usually this is a common quote. They say, "What do we have a police force for?
No.
I don't need, or I should not buy dynamite. I'm a civilian. What do we have?" This is an extremist organization. I'm sorry, this is not the Israeli Museum of Art.
Right.
This is a right-wing extremist organization whose aim is to promote the building of the third temple. So that's straightforward on the table. This is their agenda. It's not something that you discover after 50 minutes of discussion with them. It's the first thing you learn. So they will not encourage violence. However, at the same time, never mind. So they are a heritage site. They do not actually do anything that might be considered as violent that I know of. Israeli school children are taken there. That's not a problem. And usually when you ask about how would it be moved, what will happen to that, let me give you just an example from the field work. There was English tourist who was, this was the first time she heard that the temple has to be there where you see the Golden Dome. And then she was like talking to the guide, who was a very young 19-year-old girl, and the guide was saying, and she asked again and again, it has to be there? And the guide said, yes, this is why I explained, this was the place, it was chosen by God. And the guide and the tourist wanted to try different angles, but you know, this is already used by the Muslim, like try different way to explain. And the guide, it was like a machine. She could not understand what the tourist wanted to say to her. She was like, this was the place that was chosen by God, like repeating that again and again in a beautiful British accent. She also has, the guide. So it was like a paradox. This discourse, you can say, there is no discourse at all. I have to say regarding to your remarks, very interesting, putting it outside of space of time. In a way, you mainly, basically you can say you suggested that perhaps this is just discourse. Like, it's not for real. It's just, they don't mean it for real. They are not really, like, this is just saying, like, saying doesn't hurt. I didn't have they are not a political institution. They don't have, they're not represented in the parliament, but they are for real. There are previous, I don't have a picture here, but in a different presentation, but they're the former CEO of the Temple Institute organized a conference not very far from my house. This was on October, dealing with this issue, calling Israeli parliament members, saying, let's say out loud, we want to go back to the Temple Mount, and he was really active, trying to get Israeli parliament members to support his point of view. Some of them actually attended, and when he went out of the conference, he was shot by a Palestinian assassin. So this is for real. He survived, by the way. Rabbi Yehuda Glick. This is for real. This is what I'm trying to say. Here I only presented the showcase, in a way, of how they are doing it for tourists, but they are doing it in many ways, and this is great. All right.